the online sales haven't really retreated. And to us, that means that people who are now comfortable buying online, they are going to continue buying online, and they might not be visiting the bricks and mortar shops. The next is going to be, I think a lot of the companies are going to be more and more involved in automation of their processes.
Yeah.
And actually, even beyond automation, I think they will be going into machine learning, artificial intelligence, as you speak. And the industry as a whole will suffer if collectively it does not understand this challenge, that they have to make the bricks and mortar shopping more exciting, more welcoming when you're looking for work. So look for work in whatever your passion directs you towards. Forget about your degrees. Forget if you have an MBA, you have a passion for cooking, go become a chef. Don't pursue a job of an MBA that corporations offer.
Our guest today is Mr. Zahid Hussain, CEO of Rafum Group. Zahid is also a member of Parvaz's working panel on hospitality and retail services. Welcome to the platform, Zahid.
Thank you, Jawad. It's a pleasure to be here.
Likewise. Can we start with getting a brief introduction from you on Rafum Group for our audience?
Okay. Well, Rafum Group has its core business as retail. And our present in retail, we have two main brands. We have Borjan, which is a middle lower level brand, and then we have Mochiani, that is a middle upper end brand, and we have our network across the country. We have 130 or so shops which we manage ourselves. We also have manufacturing, and most of it is for shoes. So it's a vertically integrated business that we have. Our growth has been handsome in the last let's say about 12 years. We've averaged a CAGR of 20%, and we are happy with that thus far.
Thank you for the introduction, Zahid. You know, the pandemic has created mass devastation across businesses, and Pakistani businesses are no exception. How has it impacted Rafum Group businesses in particular, but also the retail industry in general in Pakistan?
Well, the impact has been severe. That is the word I would like to use. That is the phrase I would use. It's been severe on the businesses and on the country as well, Pakistan as well. Now, what has happened is that what this virus did was it stopped people from interacting. That was the effect it had. People stopped meeting each other. People stopped going to places. People stopped having functions, parties. So that is what led down to the stoppage of transactions. So when you're not transacting, obviously you're not doing any commerce, you're not doing any trade, you're not doing any business.
Yeah.
So our businesses got hit, and April was a complete shutdown. And after that, when we opened up in the third week of May, we started moving a little bit. But even now we are, I think we are at about 40-45% of where we should have been had it not been the COVID or the coronavirus. So it's been very difficult. It's been very tough.
Zahid, what about, given the situation that you've described, what has been the impact specifically on employment and jobs? Has the retail industry in general laid off a lot of people? What kind of jobs have been lost? Has it been able to, keep the jobs at least for now? What has been the situation so far?
Well, the retail industry in particular, it hires a lot of low-skilled people. It takes in low-skilled people. For example, generally somebody who's done a certificate, metric certificate, or an intermediate level of certificate. Generally, that is whom we hire, and we train them as sales associates. Now, when the selling stops, when the buying stops from the consumers, then it becomes very difficult to maintain or sustain their employment. So retail industry has, I think they've shed maybe 30% of the workforce they have had to shed. Mm-hmm. And in the future as well, at least till December, we don't really see much happening in retail. It might pick up earlier if there is a relief from through a vaccine or something like that, but it's not really. It's a little far on the horizon, and not in the next quarter, or perhaps even 2 quarters. So it's been difficult, and almost everyone has had to lay off people, not only directly from the retail network, but also in their servicing departments, whether it was warehouse, whether it was accounting, whether general administration. Every department had to take a cut in every business.
Understand. Okay. So what is then the outlook that the retail industry has over the next 12 to 18 months?
Well, I think 12 to 18 months is going to be definitely a positive outlook. By all estimates that we hear, there will be a vaccine by either end of December or early January. Mm-hmm. I think once the vaccine is out, the governments will also have more confidence. The Pakistan government certainly will have more confidence in allowing people to get back to their social activities. Restaurants will open, marriage halls will open, birthday parties and other gatherings will open, and that is what will fuel the retail. Mm-hmm. That is how it has to work. So I think in the next after 12 months, it's going to be very robust.
Okay.
The question is not really what will happen after 12 months. The question is how do companies survive these 12 months? Mm-hmm. How do they get to that 12-month period that they are still robust, or they are at least in a position from where they can bounce back?
Yeah. No, but that's very important. Yeah, the companies that are able to survive during this time are the ones that also will be able to bounce back in the next 12 to 18 months. So given that you feel quite optimistic about the retail industry over the next 12 to 18 months, do you think it will be able to recover some of the job losses that have happened, or do you think there is going to be growth and more jobs will be created?
Well, in Pakistan specifically, I think the first milestone to achieve would be to come back to the level of the year 1819. Mm-hmm. That is the first milestone that all retail will have to achieve. Mm-hmm. And once they are able to achieve that, only then will they be looking for further growth. So I think after 12 months, the first thing that's going to happen is that the companies will be coming back to their year before last. Last year, this year is gone. So 12 months hence, we will be looking at the year before last. So most companies, almost all retail, will be happy to come back to the same level as year before last. Once they hit that milestone, then and only then will they be thinking of growth beyond that.
Okay. And so specifically on jobs, you think that some of the job losses that we've had, will be able to recover most of them?
I think we will recover most of the jobs lost. However, two type of jobs will not be they will not recover. One, most companies, I would think most companies are working very hard towards finding efficiencies, towards finding quicker ways of doing things, to finding easier ways, less costlier ways. and ways with less human beings. Almost every company, I'm sure, is working towards that. So 12 months down the line, when the point of inflection comes and we are able to go beyond a year and a half ago growth, it's a bit uncertain whether that growth will include as many new employees as it would have maybe, let's say, 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I don't think the take-in would be the same as it was 2 or 3 years ago.
No, that's a very interesting point that you make about creating creating efficiencies. I mean, this virus has necessitated the need to become more efficient, to become more innovative, and do those innovations really fast for the purpose of business continuity. Are there any, perhaps 2 or 3 initiatives or innovations that come to mind that were taken as a result of responding to the pandemic, but are now going to become a permanent part of your business and your operating model?
Well, I think right away two things come to mind. One is e-commerce. E-commerce was, we started e-commerce about 3 years ago, and we were having what we might call a pedestrian response. It was not robust, but it was not zero either, and we were just trudging along. But what happened during the pandemic, during April, is that our online sales, they tripled. Within a month, we went from whatever level we were to 3x. Now after that, when the shops opened, the online sales haven't really retreated, and to us that means that people who are now comfortable buying online, they are going to continue buying online, and they might not be visiting the bricks and mortar shops. I won't say ever again, but certainly not with the same frequency as they used to. So I think in retail, that is a major change, which is here to stay. The next is going to be, I think a lot of the companies are going to be more and more involved in automation of their processes. And actually, even beyond automation, I think they will be going into machine learning, artificial intelligence, as you speak. That is really going to come to the forefront for efficiencies. But on retail, for example, companies like Careem and Uber, they are providing a service which previously the customer had not availed. For example, people are now ordering things which they might want, let's say something from a grocery store, and then from a medical store, and then also from, let's say, some other store, and they are paying this Careem person or somebody else maybe 120 rupees, and they collect their things from these 3 or 4 stores, and they deliver them to their house. Now that is doing what? That is really bringing efficiency to the personal transport industry. That means, I think, the requirement for drivers, personal drivers, I think that is going to fall. I think the people's need for having their own personal vehicle, I think that need is going to really come down. If you don't need to go to the bazaar to buy a toothpaste or grocery or medicine, then you don't need maybe a vehicle in your house, or you certainly don't need 2 vehicles or 3 vehicles. So I think these are trends which are here to stay.
Certainly. Let me talk a little bit about your current workforce. Given the revenues and the profits have gone down because of the impact of the pandemic, of course, the training budgets are also going to get hit. A lot of the companies that we talk to tell us that they're moving now to the online learning platforms to meet the learning and development needs of their workforce. Do you also see that trend in the retail industry and also at Rafum Group? And is that something that's going to stay now?
Well, certainly, I think the online training formats, they have also increased. And what has happened is, I think because people, the trainers, they have achieved or trying to achieve some level of expertise in that. They are also able to offer the courses at a lower price. And I think that is because of that reason only the online courses and the online training programs will be taken up more and more by companies. Even our companies already, I think we have logged in maybe, I think about 300 hours of training already during the pandemic, and I don't really see that going away or slowing down.
Yeah, I mean, that's a trend that we see across all sectors with large to large companies. Zahid, the other thing I wanted to understand, we talked about some of the responses to this current pandemic that Rafum Group is taking, and other players also within the industry taking to try and save jobs or perhaps create new ones over the next 12 to 18 months. Are there any actions that you feel that the retail and hospitality industry should take collectively to try and save and perhaps create more jobs?
So I think what is going to happen is that collectively what the retail and hospitality industry has to offer is a better value for the customer. Whether it is online, then one has to have a more attractive online store. They will also have to have better supply chain. They will have to have better people who can respond to their customers in a more efficient manner. They'll have to be tracking whether the goods have reached to the customer or not. That is one aspect. But I think more challenging will also be for the bricks and mortar stores. They were already under a stress, not so much in Pakistan, but internationally. The bricks and mortar stores were under stress, and they were facing very difficult competition from online stores. See, what online does is it takes the hassle away of shopping, and if your in-store experience is not exciting, if it is not different, every time the customer walks in, the customer is going to say, well, I'm just going to buy whatever I need online. And the industry as a whole will suffer if collectively it does not understand this challenge, that they have to make the bricks and mortar shopping more exciting, more welcoming, in comparison to the online, which is really coming on very fast, and they are offering new ways of new products, new ways of attracting the customers, new deals all the time, and they're very fast and very connected to the end consumer.
Zahid, one message for our youth, those young men and women that are, graduating from colleges and universities across the country, and coming into the job market. They are obviously very despondent in these uncertain times, whether they'll be able to find a job or not. What is the one positive message that you can give them in these times that lifts their hopes?
Well, I think Pakistan has an amazing people, very resilient, very forward-looking. Always, I've always found that the Pakistani people are never distressed. Stressed, yes, but distressed, hardly ever. All the time they are looking to trade, they are looking for commerce, looking to add value to whatever services they are offering. And you see that across Pakistan, Peshawar to Karachi. Everyone is out on the roads, on the shops, offices, plying their trade. So I think we are going to bounce back as soon as this is over. We will bounce back. However, the youth, the message for the youth is that they should really be getting their education. If we talk about education, they should be getting their education in something which they have their passion.
Okay.
I think the parents have to stop pushing their children towards that becoming a doctor or an engineer or a software engineer or whatever the flavor of the year is. I think that creates a lot of inefficiency in our youth, and they find that they've taken an education and a curriculum for which they have little passion. And I think that is the message I would like to give. You have to have passion and when you're looking for work. So look for work in whatever your passion directs you towards. Forget about your degrees. Forget if you have an MBA, you have a passion for cooking, go become a chef. Don't pursue a job of an MBA that corporations offer.
Thank you so much for your time, Zahid. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Jawad. Thank you for having me.